I'm Ezelle from The Upcoming, and it's really lovely to speak to you today. Congratulations on this fantastic series, Those About to Die. So perhaps you could start by telling viewers what they can expect when they step into this series, Those About to Die, and what the appeal of it is, what the storylines are.
I think this series portrays Rome in a way that's never been done before. What I mean that is like Rome at that time was really like a melting pot of cultures, a melting pot of colors, a melting pot of human kind of passions and instinct. And I think the show is very vibrant in a way that actually portrays Rome in a very vast way. There's not only just like take like that tells you about the gladiator or the patrician or just the slaves. This is like a whole world together, and they coexisted in this explosive reality that the Roman Empire was. So I think the scale of the show is epic. The thing that Roland did with the show is really trying to kind of give the audience the sense of the biggest empire in the world ever existed, and what it meant to be living like that, to living there. So life at that time didn't have the same value that has today. So dying could have happened on a daily basis. Sex was very liberal. People were kind of promiscuous there, and there was not judgmental stuff or no shame attached to it. Money had a different kind of, you could live or die. It depends on where you were born. So I think, what the audience will see, hopefully, is an entertaining show with a lot of storylines mixed together. The characters are very complex. There's no villain or a good one. They're pretty kind of tough characters. So it's a very visceral show, I think. It's like a primal, instinctive, visceral, fierce show that we're portraying.
Oh, and what was it about the script and your character of Antonia that appealed to you, and what kind of journey does she go on?
This is the role I've been waiting for 25 years of acting. I've been playing many different roles over the years of my career, had a lot of success in my country, playing lead of many TV shows and films. But when I came across the audition for this role, Roland directing and Robert Rodat writing, and I just thought, wow, this can actually allows me to really put together 25 years of experience that I had in playing the lead since I was a very young girl to playing a mature woman in an international show like this and being directed by a maestro like Roland. So the role, what appealed me of the role was that she's a woman in a man's world, which is not that different from today. It's just back then was kind of more heightened. The stakes were more heightened in a way and more dramatic. But I like the fact that she's kind of a woman that wants to be heard, that tries into a man's world like Rome was at that time when women couldn't sit in the Senate. They didn't have a political saying. She has the courage to pursue her goal, which is really trying to make her husband become the emperor, and nothing can come in her way. So when you have a goal that is so clear, you can be quite dangerous because there's nothing else that will, stop you by doing that. So the role has like an engine, has like a power and an engine. She's corrupted, she's cruel, she's sexual, sensual, vulnerable, childish, bit mad, creative, audacious. I mean, all those characters together can really build a character that allows an actor to have fun with it, because it's like for a painter to paint, a canvas when you have hundreds of colors. And it's not that common, especially on TV, to have such a complex character. So for me, every day I choose which color to mix. And at the end, it always makes sense because different things can exist in her. She's a mother as well. She's a wife. She's a politician, and she's a mistress, and she's like a businesswoman. And all these things together makes this role unique for me. I love Antonia.
And I mean, I think I do too. I think she sort of draws on things like, you've got Cleopatra, Hortensia, Agrippina, all these amazing characters from the past. Did you kind of delve a little bit into those historical women to kind of carve out your own journey and bring that into your role?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I read a lot about Livia Drusilla, Messalina, Agrippina, Poppea. There are a lot of women back then. For example, from Messalina, who was very controversial. I wanted to get this kind of liberal sexuality that she has. She's a woman who's kind of male in a way, doesn't attach any romance to this, like kind of very different from any kind of women with the, you know, married and the husband. She loves her husband. She has this animal aspect of her, which is, you know, it's full on. It was interesting. It was like, yeah, let's make this a thing. Like, she's tough. You know, she has a strong personality. So for sure, I took a lot of characteristic from these women that really existed. But then I shaped her in a way that was just, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very instinctive I'm driven by instinct a lot in my work. So when I read, it doesn't happen very often that I read something and all my kind of creativity gets awakened so easily. When I read this role, I was like, oh my God, I can do this. Like, it was very, it's like a love. It's like when you fall in love, you see somebody and you're like, oh, wow, it's so familiar, but that's where I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. That's what happened with me with this role. When I read, I was like, this is easy for me in a way, because it's something that speaks to me. I'm not saying the role is easy, but it was easier for me to do a role like this than doing more stereotypical role where you just play the good one or the, you know, romantic hero or the villain. This was just the whole kind of experience coming together and shaping this role, I hope.
Yeah, and I think also what's really interesting is that seductress side of you, and having that little moment of nudity and playing that actually empowers you. And usually we see that in roles where it doesn't. You become this woman who's like a prostitute or something. But it's quite interesting to see that layer to you where that actually makes you more empowered.
Yes.
Did you like that aspect?
I love that. That wasn't written like this, but like the first scene, I really thought she's someone who's able to stay naked and talk
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't give a shit. Like, she's like, buh, instead just trying to be sensual. There's not just sensuality. I'm so happy you got this, because that nudity is power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, I don't fear this. I'm not, you know, I'm in control of this. And I think it's such a different aspect of using femininity and your own body, and can be like a power costume in a way. So I'm very happy you got that, because that was my intent.
Yeah, you did it. And I think obviously, you know, the scenes are epic, the cast is huge. What was it like being on set in Italy and filming those scenes? And just, I mean, it must have been so overwhelming and amazing.
Yeah, but like, I lived in Los Angeles for 3 years, so I've been trying to work in the States for years, auditioning and testing, and somebody else get cast, and, you know, this crazy career we do, and which, you know, it's completely, I remember one manager in LA, she said to me, you know, it's like this career is on a roll of the dice, which it doesn't undermine the importance of talent, I guess. But it's true, like, it's on the flip of a coin. This career, you're not in control of what can come to you as far as material. So when that came, and then obviously I just moved back from Los Angeles to live in Rome, and I thought, okay, you know, this is it. I'm just going to live in Italy, do Italian project, and that's the Murphy's Law, because I came here and I got into one of the, if not the biggest show in the States, in the world this year, and has been shot outside of my doorstep because I live here. So it's been like bizarre. Like, was like, is this a joke? Like, I'm shooting with Anthony Hopkins, an American show in Rome, in Cinecittà, playing a role that is fantastic. I mean, has been I'm very grateful. I don't take anything granted in this career. There are many moments where I want to, you know, like, I have enough of this career, is to up and down, and it's too frustrating, and I'm not 20 anymore. But then this career pulls you in, and this role definitely pulled me back into wanting to continue this journey.
And obviously working with Anthony Hopkins, what was that like?
He's amazing. I was just in awe when I met him. Obviously, I've seen all his movies and we're all fan of him. And I really wanted to observe. I wanted to really understand what is so special about him. Like, what is that he has that very few actors, like, I love, obviously, Meryl Streep, Seymour Hoffman, for me, was another genius in acting. Like, those actors have something. And I think ultimately, when I really looked at him closely, you know, I'm a big fan of Eckhart Tolle, being in the moment, be here, you know, like being present, which is so difficult, especially when you act, when the camera goes up and the rolling starts and they say action, then you're kind of conscious you're on camera. He's just so grounded. He's listening to you. He engages with you. He's not Anthony Hopkins. He's Vespasian talking to Antonia, talking to a patrician. He doesn't have any ego attached to his performance. And that makes him completely grounded. And the weight he has is always been delayed in the way he performs. And I always say, it's like, if you look like La Zakharova, she's in the toile of dancing, like a ballerina, probably the biggest at in this moment in the world. If you see her dancing the Swan Lake, there's always a delay when she does a movement. She's never in a rush to finish as any, or Federer when he plays tennis. And when you watch at Hopkins, there is this kind of comfort in being delayed. There's something there that is just so grounded and suspended and engaged with you. Every take is different. It is just a masterclass watching him. All you need to do is observe.